wheels are ready to roll. Hostlers Automotive, where affordability meets the road. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the start of the week. It's time for a new perspective. It's time for Unfiltered. Join Azard Gumbs, lawyer and deputy leader of the People's Action Movement, for raw and unfiltered political analysis of the current events in St. Kitts and Nevis. Tune in every Sunday evening from 7:30 p.m. on WinFM. Join Azard Gumbs as he breaks the mantle and cuts through the unfiltered political noise to bring you the facts. Unfiltered every Sunday evening on WinFM 98.9.
Lord, this can end in a serious dilemma. Now that the country been run by labor, this pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this Labour Party in power, is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society this administration turning out to be. The PM got a so-called advisor, telling people how to get away with murder. It's non-stop attack on the treasury with paper daddy and man mixari. This Labour bunch shot to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economists all hard life crippling, we a collective menace, menace, menace to society. It's like it's all cheap and no India. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan, ideas or structure. It's the people who left to suffer. No pop, no peace, bare unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake under these enemies of the state. AAG, Nanicate lawyer, he really a pamper playing Labour third politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4, law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. DAG join the cult and the greedy. We just a menace, 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 menace to society. Government buildings, well then the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under Labour life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace, 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 menace to society. Life in SKM, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up is smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we with this menace, menace, menace to society. Government buildings, well then the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under Labour life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace, 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 menace to society. On SKM, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up with smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting. Lord, this can end in a serious dilemma. Now that the country been run by Labour, this pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this Labour Party in power, is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society this administration turning out to be. The PM got a so-called advisor, telling people how to get away with murder. It's non-stop attack on the treasury with paper daddy and man mixari. This Labour bunch shot to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economists all hard life crippling, we a collective menace, menace, menace to society. It's like it's all cheap and no India. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan, ideas or structure. It's the people who left to suffer. No pop, no peace, bare unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake under these enemies of the state. AAG, Nanicate lawyer, he really a pamper playing Labour third politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4, law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. DAG join the cult and the greedy. We just a menace, 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 menace to society. Government buildings, well then the worst.
A pleasant evening to everyone. I am your host, Azard Gumbs, Deputy Political Leader of the People's Action Movement and candidate for the People's Action Movement in constituency number 4. I trust that everyone is having a wonderful evening so far. I, not too long ago, came from Nevis. Over in Nevis, there is the Mango Festival. It is going quite well. I do wish to thank the organizers, commend the organizers for putting on yet another cultural festival there in Nevis, and of course the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. This evening on Unfiltered, we are talking about a number of issues that our country face. We recognize that the Labour administration has been in power for almost 3 years. We are in July, and August is going to mark the 3-year period since this Labour administration has taken office. And since the Labour administration has taken office, it has been nothing but hard labor under the Labour administration. In fact, many persons are saying that Labour has been in power. It has not been better with Labour. It has actually been bitter with Labour. And so this evening, I want us to look at the Labour's performance over the 3 years. I know we talk about them and their lack of performance thus far, but this group of individuals, these ministers of government, clearly do not know what they're doing and clearly do not respect the opinions of the persons who have elected them to serve them. In fact, this group of individuals, these ministers, have taken it upon themselves to look out for their own self-interest and to look out for their own economic safety. We recognize that no sooner that they were elected into office, they gave themselves up to 33% an increase in salary, while civil servants were given a mere 8%. And we look at this administration's performance, having increased their salary, they have done nothing to ensure that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, that our lives are better. Just recently, we heard about the new pension scheme that this government, this administration has implemented. And the cutoff point was June 30th. So a number of persons, especially those who would have been in the civil service after 2012, they didn't have an option. Those who would have joined the service after a certain point in 2012 was given the opportunity to choose one or the other, whether they will stick on the old plan or whether they'll stick on the new plan. But even those persons who had the option really had little time to really consider what the options were before them. In fact, the Labour administration continues to make decisions on behalf of the people. Many of these decisions affect the life and livelihood of individuals, ordinary men and women of St. Kitts and Nevis. Yet this administration has failed to do the necessary steps to have proper consultation with the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, the people that they are supposed to serve. And so what this Labour administration did was to impose a new pension plan, especially for those who joined the civil service after 2012. And so let's look at some of the changes and some of the disadvantages that those persons who would have joined are now facing. And so one of the disadvantages that they now have to consider, it is mandatory, they have a later retirement age. Under this new pension that was, not discussed, not given proper consultation, pension starts at 62. Under the old pension plan, persons could have retired before 62 and received their pension. But under this new pension plan, it is mandatory that persons retire at the age of 62. In fact, I recall having a conversation with a civil servant who said to me that when asked the question, what if they were to retire before 62 and be on this plan? Well, the answer was they would lose. And so we understand that this administration continues to make decisions that do not benefit the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We look at another thing that has been imposed on those persons who had no choice, is that there is now a mandatory 3% salary deduction. So let's look at this. The Labour administration gave civil servants an 8% increase. Yet, from that 8% increase, there is a mandatory 3% that has now been deducted that goes towards their pension. Before, under the new scheme, there was no said deduction. No said deduction. And one has to consider that in the other countries around our region, the OECS, they do not have such a pension plan imposed on them whereby they have to give 3%. And it's not even a situation where civil servants are given 3% and government is matching that 3%. Government is not matching that 3% which the civil servants now have to pay in. So in fact, under this new pension plan, a pension plan that many didn't have the opportunity to consult the government about, discuss with the government about, or even offer alternative solutions. So many persons were faced with the reality that this would be what goes forward for them. And so they are now putting in more. But in fact, they, at the end of their pension, if they go up to the 62, which is mandatory, they are going to be receiving less. Under the old pension plan, you put in, you would get more benefits. Under this new pension plan, you're putting in more, but at the end of the day, you're receiving less. And we realize that under this Labour administration, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis continue to put more and receive less. And so we must say, whenever the bell is whenever the election is called, whenever the Prime Minister determines that there's going to be election, we must ensure that these persons who only think about themselves, who do not think about the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, the average man, the average Kittitian, we must ensure that they do not return to government. Because government is for people who care about people. Government should be about representatives that seek the best for those who they are put there to represent. These ministers, when you look at the pension, their pension is given to them after 7 years of being an MP, being successful. And you look at the Prime Minister after one term, pension. And so one has to consider that when you look at what they are giving up, what they are putting in, and contrast it with what the civil servants are putting in and receiving, it is completely something different. And so one has to look at that this new calculation would give a lower gratuity. Workers are receiving and will receive less money upfront at retirement. We also look at the fact that the maximum payout is just 40% of the annual salary after 40 years of service. And so many persons are dissatisfied. When you look and you listen to the persons, you listen to civil servants who now have no choice but to accept this pension plan that has been for some, because if you started the service after 2012, you had no choice. You now have to look at the fact that this is the option for you. And so it is a sad reality where this administration continue not to put the people's interests at heart. Another disadvantage is that over the time when persons, you had loved ones who passed, and these loved ones often were the breadwinners. Sometimes these loved ones have many dependents on them. And so now, under this new proposed plan, there is no survivor benefit. And so if persons pass and they have dependents, those dependents are not given an opportunity to benefit under the new pension scheme. When you look at the OECS, they are given the opportunity to benefit if it is that their loved ones who were their primary breadwinners were to pass. And so one has to consider whether this administration really cares about the people that they say they are serving, because this administration only cares about itself. It does not care about the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and that is why the People's Action Movement is here. That is why the People's Action Movement continue to put forward a people first agenda. Just on Friday, the People's Action Movement, led by Natasha Shani Gray-Brooks, attorney at law, we went to constituency number 8. We spoke to the people of constituency number 8 in Keyon. And the people of Keyon received us well. In fact, the people are saying that this administration needs to go. This administration is very unpopular. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis clearly understand that this administration does not care and does not put forward policies that benefit the people. The people, they don't put forward policies that benefit the people in constituency number 1. They don't put forward policies that benefit the people in constituency number 2, neither constituency number 3, constituency number 4, constituency number 5, constituency number 6, 7, or 8. This administration only puts policies that strangle the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, strangle their economic power in an already difficult time where we see around the world where there's wars, there's the rising cost of living, and this administration has shown itself unfit to manage the turbulent waters. They have shown themselves unfit to manage this country. In fact, under this administration, we had a booming CBI. And under this administration, we see where it is that the CBI revenue has fallen. Many are thinking, in fact, I had a conversation with an individual just today who felt or feel that this administration, after the 5 years in office, is going to leave St. Kitts in economic, financial ruin. And based on their track record of promises not fulfilled, and based on their track record of deceit, based on their track record of their constant spending unnecessarily. When they go to travel, we realize that these ministers travel with large contingents. They travel and you know that they receive per diem. Sometimes these meetings that they travel to, one has to ask the question, what are we receiving from these meetings? Are the people of St. Kitts and Nevis truly benefiting from these meetings? They travel here, there, and everywhere. But we have nothing tangible to show for their constant travel. It is not right that they take advantage of the state's purse, the state's resources, and to their leisure and their pleasure, and bring back nothing for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. I do not believe that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis would have been so unreasonable to say that these ministers to criticize the travel of the ministers if these ministers were actually returning something that was tangible to them. And so we see that even the government's employees are suffering from the hands of this administration. An administration that likes to boast that they form and were birthed from the labor movement, the labor trade union. And I would want to believe that a party that says it is for the people, and a party that it says that because of its birth from the labor union would put in greater policies that would affect the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, the employees of St. Kitts and Nevis, much better. We have an act that has been in existence since the 1980s. We don't see any real progress from this administration to strengthen the rights of employees under that act. What we see from this administration is anything that would take monies from the ordinary man and woman, make them pay more and receive less. And we're saying that under a People's Action Movement-led government, that more monies will be placed in the hands of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, because the People's Action Movement is a party that puts the people of St. Kitts and Nevis first. We believe that people matter most. I believe that this administration, this Labour administration, based on its own track record, based on the leadership of Dr. Terence Drew, I believe that their mantra is to show how people can suffer most. This Labour administration, I am of the view that their mantra is how can we make people suffer most? Because their policies are not for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. It cannot be for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis when you're going to implement such a policy like you did with the pension scheme, taking away dependents, survivors' benefits, making the age mandatory before you could have had an early retirement. No, that's not there. Now you have to pay 3% in. And then, at the end of the day, you're paying in more, but receiving far less. How can that be an administration that really cares about the people of St. Kitts and Nevis? Which brings my attention to another thing. We have this administration, and of course, we believe, the People's Action Movement, that persons should get a livable wage. And we have seen the increase of the minimum wage, yes. And of course, we believe that persons should be given greater spending power, especially considering the effects of the external pressures. So we do believe that there should be a livable wage, and that livable wage should be, whatever that is determined to be, should be the wage given to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have seen whereby you have now the minimum wage increase. And of course, yes, we are for the increase to make people's lives better in the sense. But what we have seen from this administration is that there is an increase in the minimum wage, but there is also an increase in the services provided. We have seen an increase from shop owners and persons who do services and businesses. So clearly, it made me think that one, when this increase was considered, it was either not properly consulted, there was no proper consultation with the private sector and government, and there was no proper resolution between government and the private sector. I do not want to believe that this Labour administration just wanted to use a political gimmick to say that they have increased the minimum wage, but yet you have no significant price control. So today you receive $5, but goods that you used to buy at $2 is now up to $4. So you're spending, so you earn more in a sense, you get more money, but in fact, if their prices continue to rise without no control, then your spending power in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis is not more, it's less. And so we must consider that every policy, every law that this administration puts in, one must examine its benefit. One must examine what is the benefit to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, what is the effect. And so this administration likes to use smoke and mirrors to confuse the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Say they're doing this, say they're doing that. And at the end of the day, the lives of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are no better for it. So why boast about so many things that you're doing if at the end of the day, all that you say that you're doing is still not being positively persons are not being positively affected by these changes. And so it makes me come to the view that this Labour administration does not know how to lead. It doesn't care about the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, the people that elected them to lead the country. And we have with us a team that appears to be fragmented. There are talks about Dr. Douglas and Dr. Drew not being on the same page, and Dr. Drew not taking advice from Dr. Douglas. There is talks about infighting in the very Labour Party. And so one must ask the question, if there is infighting within the party, how can we as the people of St. Kitts and Nevis benefit from a government that is so fragmented? In fact, there is talk that there might be an early election, a snap election, because if persons were to be honest and ask, if the Labour Party were to be honest and make an assessment about what is happening and how people feel about their policies and their plans, they would recognize that they are grossly unpopular. Persons are sick and tired of this Labour administration. And many persons want this administration to go. And we are saying that we, the People's Action Movement, whenever the opportunity is given to serve, will serve the people of St. Kitts and Nevis from a people-first agenda. That is our broad mantra. Whatever fits into a people's first agenda would be the mantra and the role of the People's Action Movement to do. And so we are saying that under the leadership of Natasha Shani Gray Brooks, that the People's Action Movement will take St. Kitts and Nevis out of the devastating hands of the Labour administration led by Drew. Because clearly, Dr. Drew and Labour at this time don't know what to do to ensure that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are secure, and that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, that our resources are put in are used in a way to benefit all the people. We look at the fact that even when it comes to electricity, and electricity is important. We have a minister of electricity, and during the campaign, he said that persons now, and that was 2022, shouldn't have to run home to catch a fresh. Well, now in 2025, as the Minister of Infrastructure, Energy, et al., many persons are still running home to catch a fresh. Many persons are still, the country is still without constant, reliable electricity. Just last week, well, there was music festival. I could talk about constituency number 4. Well, last week in constituency number 4, it's a long day, a long week. So many activities happening in the weekend. You had the music festival. I could talk from my own experience. Trying to wash on a Saturday. Trying to make sure that by the start of the week, the clothes are washed, everything is in order. No sooner that I started to wash, the electricity off. And that's not only electricity for me. That's electricity for persons in the constituency as well, One person said to me, as a result of the power outage that day, that their washing machine is no longer in use. We have a minister of energy that sometime last year, I think it was September, spoke about the renting of generators to facilitate the increase for electricity. And if I'm not mistaken, based on what was said then, it was said that this would be for a 12-month period. But one has to ask the question, if these generators are being rented for electricity and to ensure that there is surplusing, of electricity, then why is it? And there is a criticism by this Labour administration that Team Unity, in which Pam was a part of, made no effort for maintenance for these equipment. But if one needs to be honest, during the time of Team Unity, we had a more reliable energy source, reliable electricity source than we do now. So one has to ask the question, what really is this Labour administration doing for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis? What are they doing when they say that they are doing so much? Because we have a minister who speaks about the renting of generators to ensure that the extra energy that is necessary is put to use towards the people. But yet, we're still suffering from the shortage of electricity, shortage of water. And so on the ground, these ministers are talking as if things, wherever they sit, they're talking as if things are better. Well, we on the ground, we're saying that things ain't better. Things worse. Things worse. These 3 years of Labour has been the worst years faced by St. Kitts and Nevis in recent times, faced by the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis in recent times. And many of these persons, they are not affected by the service that they render to us. Many persons are in need of these services, not able to afford such luxuries on their own. And so, when we receive poor policies by this administration, well, it's the people who suffer most. And so one has to say that this Labour administration has been the worst administration in recent time when it comes to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and ensuring that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, their needs are put first. I want to say that, the lines are open. If callers want to call in and give their own points on what is happening, the opportunity is there for them to do so. Because this administration really does not care about the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. They cannot be that they care about us, the people, when us, the people, have been suffering from their own failed policies. We look at housing, and Dr. Hanley is the minister responsible for housing. And a number of people, Kittitians, Nevisians, Kittitians, rely on housing. A lot of them rely on government for housing. You have the NHC. And Dr. Hanley and Labour spoke about this housing revolution like never before. Said that they're going to build 600 homes every year until the end of their term. No sooner than they said that, it was a song and dance, ceremony after ceremony, cutting of this ribbon, that ribbon, and every ribbon known to man. And 2025 is here. And in 2025, Dr. Hanley says to us, well, it ain't seem like this year gonna happen. It not happen. Basically said to us that the company fooled him. But when they are fooled by persons who they believe will deliver for them, then we, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, suffer. Because the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, many of us, depend on them to make good decisions, to make decisions that will benefit the people, that will benefit us. And so there are so many people in St. Kitts and Nevis who are saying that they're looking for houses. We have persons in my constituency number 4. Since the date of Labour's arrival in government, I have not seen a housing project been done in constituency number 4. On the team Unity, in which Pam was a part of, there were housing projects. The most recent one in Conyers, whereby persons were given houses, well, opportunity to own houses in which they would pay for. But in this cycle under Labour, you see no said project being done. Even in Conyers, the people of Conyers continue to talk about the poor condition of that road. I went to a church in Challengers. And while their church in Challengers a couple of weeks ago, the pastor had to talk about the roads. Because the roads close to that church, deplorable condition. And I had to say to the pastor, because I was in close distance, the pastor, I've been talking about these roads that in constituency number 4 for years. I talked about the Conyers Road. I made a video about the Conyers Road. I talk about the different roads in our constituency. I even messaged the minister and the current representative about these roads. Because if I am putting out a video, it makes no sense that the minister himself don't see it. So I make sure that he sees it as well. And so there's no response, which makes me go on to my second point in relation to that. Persons are saying that they have now elected a representative and they can't get to the representative. They got to book appointment. And after they book appointment, weeks pass and no call, no follow up. But when it was time for the vote, he every and anywhere. Come on, Unfiltered.
Good evening, Brother Azard.
Good evening.
I never recognized you had any other host with you, but if they did, I will say good night.
It's just
okay. I must say good night to the listeners and the beautiful, lovely Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Winston, welcome. Again, I'm joining you. Brother Azard, let me speak to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Let us get real. Let us look and see, witness for ourselves, all that the Labour administration promised. What has been given, what has been rendered, what has been done. And if their eyes are not open, I don't know when it will open again, or if the followers will be ignorant and dishonest and criminal to themselves to hold this administration to the height that they promised in the beginning, and if there was any deliverance. What can they say? Promises are comfort for fools. We are being taken for fools. So why? I'm not saying they will, but I pray that they don't, and they recognize what ill has been done to the country. From to the next, to the next, to the next. Water is life. Water is the most important thing any warm-blooded animals, including plants, need. And that not had been. So what are they catering for? The little money from when campaign come around, they can get a payout, a payday. That it's not going to serve any good. Don't even count on a payday coming up. Don't count on these bribes. Bribes should be done with, because that's treasonous. And I am speaking from my heart. I am very passionate. I bleed and I cry for my people. But am I going to shed my tears in vain? All who are trying to help the people going to be in vain? People of St. Kitts and Nevis, I love you all. I love you all. And we are out here. And I must say, I must congratulate you, Azard, because you are a crusader for justice, peace, and tranquility to satisfy the needs of mankind and the due diligence. I can't even say it any better. I'm out of words in order to make that description. But for real. So people, align yourself with the people who are fighting for you. Yes, promises are comfort for fools, because some of us make promises and we fetch to deliver. Azard, I'm going to yield here. I have a lot to say, but I can't take up all the way. Thank you all for hearing me. I will continue to fight, and I will not stop fight until I die. Bye for now. Love all of you. Bye.
Thank you, Carlo. Thank you for your contribution. And I do say to you, we will continue to fight. All of us must put our hands to the plow to ensure that this administration is not returned to office. We must continue to speak on behalf of the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, because there are many persons who cannot speak out for themselves, whether out of fear of victimization or the like. And so those of us who have taken up the mandate to speak on behalf of the people will continue to speak on behalf of the people. There is the Ministry of Agriculture, led by Samuel Duggins. And that ministry continues to fail the very people it was intended to serve. We have a Minister of Agriculture who is more interested in photo shoots and press conferences than produce. He is more interested in producing press conferences than aiding the farmers in ensuring that they produce the necessary crops necessary. He speaks about the 25 by 25 agenda a couple years ago, about the reduction of the import bill. But the same Samuel Duggins, when he speaks about reduction of the import bill, you have him talking about the greenhouses in New Grong that would assist farmers. And if you pass New Grong, where those greenhouses were to be constructed, it's like a ghost town. that greenhouse, and the greenhouses there, they were budgeted for. One must ask, where did the money go for the greenhouses? Is there money left? Is any money being used that was allocated to the greenhouses? Because that is another failed project under Samuel Duggins. And just recently, we hear about the Ministry of Agriculture and that it has granted 5 acres of land in Newton Ground to the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force, and that land will be used for a crop farming initiative as part of the efforts to increase self-sufficiency and support national food security. That article went on to say that the Defense Force described it as an initiative. The article also goes on to say that the Defense Force described the initiative as a progressive step that will supplement internal food supply and support government sustainability goals. The article went on to talk about that the program is positioned as a part of the wider strategy to reduce dependency on imported food and promote local production. And having read the article, I only had one question to ask. And the question is, how would this benefit farmers? Because currently, farmers are being affected negatively in the sense that farmers are suffering from a lack of seeds. Farmers across the country are still begging for basic planting materials, even as the government hands over 5 acres of fertile land to the Defense Force. If farmers can't access seeds, what is the logic in allocating land to soldiers who don't depend on farming for their livelihood? We have farmers who lack chemicals and inputs, fertilizers, pesticides, and other essential inputs. They're lacking. When we look at land preparation, again, lacking. And this is the land preparation is the government's responsibility. The government wants us to believe that giving 5 acres of farmland to the Defense Force is a bold step towards food security. But I must ask the real question. How can we achieve food security while stripping resources from the very people who feed the nation? Our farmers are crying out, not for photo ops, not for press releases, not for press conferences, but for seeds, chemicals, and basic inputs. We have a caller. Caller, you're live on Unfiltered.
Brother Azard, there was a question I was supposed to ask, and you can probably do that homework. This is in respect to the farming community. Now, when a farmer needs their land to be tilled, and we're talking about tractors, how much tractors are incented to serve farmers, apart from if some farmers may have their own tractors? Because farming on a large scale, you need machines to plow and make the banks and all those things. I'm speaking about Nevis also.
Well, Nevis has its own Nevis deals with his own matters in a different way when it comes to that. I could recall, if I'm not mistaken, because I was hosting the morning report with Farm Reports, and if I'm not mistaken, I could be corrected. I think I don't. In my mind, when you ask a question, the number two comes in my mind. I am thinking that is how much is there. I could be mistaken, but I could.
To what?
Yes,
To
I'm
chapters?
thinking. I'm thinking that number is two. Yes, yes. Welcome.
You mean to tell me?
And
Going back to,
again, I'm thinking that. So before you go on to that, I cannot confirm, but that is the number I'm thinking.
but even you were to think 4, which is not 4, because I heard 2, and I'm going to go with 2. Okay, I'm going to go with the 2. I don't have the facts, but I'm going by what was said. But isn't it a shame for farming to help the farmers to create sustainable produce for the federation? You mean to tell me government only have 4 tractors, which is unacceptable? Come on, why? You see where they run into problem? They use up, they thief the CBI money. They do not put the CBI money for the use it should have been on their pockets. They make it longer and longer and longer. I have a message for them, When God call you, you ain't going to tell God I have a long pocket of money, He ain't going to need that. So why are you all keeping these money for not helping out the people? You all are the most wicked people on the planet. To sink its people, to sink its residents and citizens. But people, you all know what to do. Winston Welcome is not going to put the words in your mouth. But I will remind you all, do not bring these people back in. Bring in someone from PAM. Bring in someone from PLP. And bring in independent. Bring Winston Welcome in. Because I will ruffle everyone feathers. And I mean it. Okay? And last but not least, any administration win this election, and there should be a coalition. All constituency representatives who win their seat, give them a portfolio, whosoever is the prime minister being voted in. Give every constituency representative a portfolio to represent its people and do the due diligence for the people than for a minister to be sitting down doing nothing and being paid. Everyone has to work and do their part. This Westminster system and this status quo have to be stopped immediately. And I'm not going to change what I said. Carry on, my brother Azard. Continue to keep the feet to the fire and the pedal to the metal. I'm with you 100%.
Thank
Bye
you,
for now.
welcome.
That's my last.
Thank you. We have another phone call. Caller, you live on Unfiltered.
Good evening, Mr. Azard Gumbs. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Azard, fine. Azard, I admire you as a young man, and I know you're professional as a Tony. But I know the nature of a Tony, right? And I think in reality, Azard, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. And I think in reality, Azard, you should, as a young man, I'm not here to ridicule you or to bring you down, but I think you should be, as a politician, someone who have the potential. I think you may have the potential to move this country forward in the future. I think you should be a little more forthcoming, honestly forthcoming to the people. Because I, as a listener, listening to you as a layman, you as a layman as a politician, trying to be a politician, a young politician, I think you should cleanse your heart a little more in speaking the truth, Azar. Because I listening to you, you're not persuading me about this present government, Labour government. You're not persuading me. You are giving me factual, negative information about the government.
I'm giving you factual negative? Factual negative?
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
so it's
Right.
facts.
Well, it's fact for you, but if you hear what put it, negative.
So I'm giving you information that information that is factual, but because it comes across negatively,
Negative.
you do not accept
Negative.
it.
I do not accept it.
Okay.
Right? So you're an intelligent person, and I'm going to use my intelligence to deal with you. Okay?
So you
Politically.
on one hand you're saying that I'm being dishonest, but on the other hand you're saying that I'm
Yes,
giving.
you're being dishonest.
On the other hand you're saying that I'm
Right.
giving facts.
Well, keep it that way. Keep it on that road. Keep it on that road. Because in your opinion, you think it is the fact. So I have to respect it, but I don't have to accept it. You understand? I respect your fact, but I don't accept it. Are you listening to me?
I'm listening, Carlo.
Okay.
I'm not
Right.
agreeing with you. I'm not agreeing
Okay,
with you,
right,
but
right.
I'm listening to you.
That's like I respect your facts, but I don't accept your facts. Right? But you spoke about the minimum wage that the government has to give to the people. You put it over that the government have some negative aspect about it. There's a negative aspect about giving the minimum wage because the government was not humble and prudent enough and honest enough to give that minimum wage because the merchants jack up the price and the back of the people. In your opinion, in your capacity, your political opinion and your political capacity, what would you do in a situation like that? I'm asking you a question. If it was in your position and you give a raise to the poor people, and the government
Carlo, I
took
said
on
this
$1
before.
and their
Were you
merchandise,
listening?
how would you handle that?
Carla, I said before, right, and perhaps you missed that point. I said, one, that there seemed to have been no proper consultation or resolution between the government and private business before that
And that's not true, Azard.
implementation.
That's not true. That's not true. That's
I
a
said
lie.
proper.
You're lying. You're lying
I
on the
said
government.
proper. I said proper.
Okay.
Next.
And that is not
okay.
true.
The next
That is not true,
okay.
Azard.
Okay, you're gonna let me speak or you're gonna cut me cross?
Yeah, but I have to correct that. So you could go ahead now.
Okay, thank you, Carlo. So on the second aspect, I said that there's no proper price control. So you get $5 now, but then the prices go up in the store to match the $5 that you get. You really don't have much spending power at the end of the day. That's what I said. What do you say to
But
that?
that's true. And why would you sit back and blame the government and that behavior?
I'm saying that as government, they have consumer affairs and they can ensure that the prices are properly controlled.
Azar, in reality, put the mic to put your mouth to the mic. I'm not hearing your time.
I spoke about proper price control. I spoke about proper negotiation. And I said that both of them have been lacking by this administration. If there's nothing else that you want to say, Carla, then I think there's another caller on the line. We have two other callers.
Yeah, but Azar, I'm going to finish.
We have two other callers. We have two other callers. And so you could call back in. We lost. Okay. Hello, caller.
Yes, brother Azard.
Yes.
I was just listening to you and that gentleman from St. Thomas. But I wanted to, if I could get you, let me handle him. And I'm going to put this to Mr. St. Thomas. You are a damn hard-head coconut, you know. Because you're not listening, and your digestion of interpretation of when someone explains something in a proper way. You tend to twist in your own archaeology. Wait, my friend, you're not from this planet, you know. You are from somewhere else. Because the people are bawling. They are crying. You try to confuse straight talk No, you're trying to confuse Azard. Well, listen up. I jumped to Azard defense, brother. Cut your damn bullshit, man. And come with substance. Okay? Or if you think you can continue to make comments, why don't you try to make a difference in helping the people? Okay? And if you are useless, I'm not here to bash by, but when I'm telling you, you're talking really idiocracy, archaeology, and fraganakabul. The world don't need people like you and your ideology, You should be pushed right in a dungeon. I don't. Leave facts to be facts and carry your archaeology wherever archaeology came from. Okay? Bye for now. This is Winston Welcome, and I need you to pick at me, brother.
Thank you for your contribution, Winston. So, we have any other callers? Okay. So, thank those two callers for calling in. On one end, we have a caller who says that I'm giving negative facts. Well, if the facts are the facts and they are perceived to be negative, then it means that the government needs to do better. We have a caller. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Azard, man. How you doing, man?
Yes, Burl, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to break the ice here, man. Let me just tell the public, facts are facts and opinions are totally different. You cannot change facts from side to side, left to right, up and down. If we determine that this is facts, it's facts in Sinkers, it's facts in Germany, no matter where it goes, it's still facts, bro.
Yes.
Azard, you got a yellow shirt, right?
Yes. It's more than a yellow shirt. I have on a Pam shirt.
Yeah. No matter if some persons are Stevie Wonder blind, and even, bro, people are questioning if Stevie Wonder is really blind. Because I watched an award show, and Stevie Wonder had an award to give somebody, and he gave the award straight in the guy's hands. The guy was like, Stevie, man, how do you know I was right here in front of you? Or how you know I was over here to your right or over here to your left? You cannot twist and turn facts, man. Opinions and views are totally different.
You know what I realized? Burl? There are some Labour supporters that if you challenge what Labour is doing, if you speak about how their policies are affecting persons negatively, many of them have resulted to personal attacks. Many of them have resulted to to all sorts of things, mainly because you say, well, Labour ain't performing, but 9 out of 10 people would say Labour ain't performing. Even their very own supporters would say Labour ain't performing. And so, what am I to say? Who is he to disagree with me when I said Labour ain't performing? Because that's what everybody's saying.
I'm not on the ground, but whatever they're saying on the ground is what goes. We out here in the diaspora, we try to lend our voices to encourage the people. And some of the people, they're not expanding their minds enough. Everyone is just accustomed to this party politics. And the party politics is mashing up Sinkers and Nevers. You know what I mean?
But look at the situation, right? Look at the situation. We have land being allocated to the Defense Force, while we have farmers who are saying they need land too. We have farmers who are saying that they don't have basic needs or chemicals. Some of the farmers waiting for plastic mulch for months. Land preparation, Burl, is a nightmare for the farmers. No real access to water or timely support. But this
We've been out here
minister,
talking about farming so much, right?
this minister
Go ahead, go ahead. Let me
putting his
go ahead. Sorry.
attention to the defense force when the primary role of the defense force is to protect and serve. But yet the same the persons whose careers and livelihoods is farming, where is his attention?
Let me ask you a question. The defense force, they're going into farming now?
Well, look, based on the article, 5 acres now have been allotted to the defense force for the use of crop farming as a crop farming initiative. 5 acres.
So why not set up 2 local farmers who has been involved with cannabis for a long time and who's experienced and who's willing and able and ready to get into that industry? How come 2 of those local farmers can't be set up?
And but I'm hearing also that the government is thinking to impose a 3% tax on farmers for the use of the marketing unit. So this government, they ain't providing the basic needs for the farmers, but yet they're ready and willing to tax the farmers even more. Farmers sell to the marketing unit, bro, and for months the farmers can't get paid. But this government want to try to impose a 3% tax on the farmers for what? Delayed service, delayed payments. When you look at this administration, you wonder, why are they putting so much hardship on the average man and woman in this country?
Okay, you ready for me?
Yes, Bill. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem, man. So we are not investing enough in agriculture at all. Guyana is one country that said is now sufficient in food. We want to know how Guyana got that done. St. Kitts and Nevis, the population is down. And let me ask you a quick question. The 25 to 25 agenda they was talking about, trying to reduce the import bill. How the public are going to know that they made advancement in decreasing that import bill if they don't release some information? When is the Prime Minister going to get his financial analysts to bring forth that information? I mean, we already saw that was a failure, and they're now pushing it back to 2030 or 2035. But initially, we still need to get some figures to see if there was some type of improvement in decreasing that import bill.
But you see, the thing about it, you and I see these issues, and you wonder, these people in government, can they not see it? Or are they refusing to be transparent? Because we will know that they're failing at everything that they're doing.
So another question to you, Azard. I just wanted to ask, right? Seeing that there has been so much complaints about agriculture sector, right? And apparently seems like they're failing at this agriculture thing. Your party, right? Is your party interested in recruiting a farmer to get a farmer on your ticket so as to, if that person wins his seat, we can see some improvement in the agriculture sector? I mean, is your party interested in recruiting a farmer? Because we know there is some farmers around you guys, but it doesn't seem like those guys are interested. So I've gone past that now, and I'm asking if you guys are going to try to recruit a farmer from somewhere in St. Kitts.
Well, but let me say this. Troy Flanders is a farmer. He contested the last general election. If there's no farmer on the ticket, it does not prevent a farmer from giving advice to a minister on
That's true. That's
on
correct.
what is needed and necessary. You understand?
Or have a farmer as a PS, right? Or have a farmer
of a PS or even a special advisor. The problem that I see with this Labour administration is that they put people in positions as advisors and this and that, right? And what advice they could give? Only political advice they're giving. And so when it comes to financial advice, it's absent. When it comes to advice, when it comes to agriculture and the like, it seems to be absent. You understand? And so that is the problem. They are so focused on the politics and winning an election. Now they ain't care about the governance. You look at the government departments, and a lot of people complaining how slow things are going around, how difficult it is to do business in St. Kitts and Nevis.
My thing is, Azard, I have something personal I want to say here. I've very much observed that there are persons in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis that do not want to work. They don't want to work. They have this sense of entitlement and thinking they can play all manner of tricks on people who's in foreign and trying to get work done on the ground. And underneath the Prime Minister, those PSs and all of those departments, they need to do their work and be efficient and effective and ease the weight of the Prime Minister. And if I was the Prime Minister, I would have come in with a brand new entourage. I would never go back to any one of these senior guys, because all of these senior guys, they're all corrupted. All of those advisors that the Prime Minister got around him, I would move them and send
Burl,
them
we're getting
home.
in some cars. Burl, we're getting in some
Yeah, no
cars.
problem, man.
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Give me 5 seconds, man. Hello?
Okay, the call. Go ahead. Go ahead, Burl.
Okay. Yeah, I would move all of those advisors, man. Trust me, and let a man go home and collect their pension and enjoy the rest of their senior life. And to you and Nubian, I just want to encourage you all, man. Just remember, a lot of attacks going to be coming at you all because you're all young.
Yes.
Please know, man, stand firm and stay focused, and I'm supporting you guys. And
Thank
that's
you,
what
bro.
all I want to say, man. Best of luck to you and Nubian going forward. Thanks.
Thank you, bro.
And Azard, are you prepared for debate? Someone bantering the fact around that they want to debate.
But if there's an invitation to debate, I will accept it. I have never ran from a debate. But we have a caller, and we might lose that caller.
Excellent. Have a good night.
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Bro, study here, bro.
Welcome. It's you. But Burl is gone. And what do you want to say? Welcome. But before you go on, I just want to say, Burl asked the question when it comes to debate. I have been a debater for some time. I've been a part of the UWI Debating Society. I've been a part of the CFBC debating group, society when it was there. I've been part of your parliament. I am not afraid to debate on the issues. So if there's an invitation to debate, I will accept it.
Well, I'm proud of you because I am calling for a debate too. And for too long, our representatives been hiding behind town halls and convention. We need to have all the competitors at one time on one stage with a moderator, and we seal the deal. The deal is never ever sealed in this traditional same old. Yes, we should have a debate, okay? And that's where the boys will be separating from the men, because we can't hide behind this false information and promises of comfort from fools. Everyone knows they're being fooled. Okay? But, Burl, let me just say this. Burl, stop, give advice to this government what they should do if I were. The time has come and let them be gone. Do not do that. Okay? They had their chance. They don't even listen from among themselves. Douglas would have been a good man for them to listen to because he's been there, even though he has done some things that I am not impressed. Okay? But don't give them no advice. Give the independent. Give Azard. Give PAM. Give PLP. But don't give Labour no advice. Please. I'm done.
Okay.
Bye for now.
So I want to say thank you to both of you for giving your input here today. I am winding down this evening's program, and as I wind down the program, again I look at the proposal. While 5 acres of land is given to Defense Force, whose primary role is not to farm but to ensure that there is protection of lives, national security, farmers are still without the basic. They are still without seeds. They're still without chemicals. Land preparation is a nightmare. Yet this minister, who can juggle different things, obviously he can juggle different things. So, but he's not focusing on making the lives of farmers better. He's not focusing on solid programs and policies that would reduce the import bill. He's looking for opportunities that look fancy, opportunities that he could take a photo, he could have a photo op, or a brand new press conference, whereas the real issues are still there and they're glaring. So we must look at this Labour administration and their lack of performance. I also want to give my condolences to the parents of Janelica Rodney, whose body was found, and we all know we were a part. Many of us spoke about encouraging persons to be on the search and everything like that. The body, she was found dead. Her remains decomposed. I just want to give my condolences and to her mother, her father, everyone. I mean, all her family is a real sad situation. You hear some of the comments on the road and, some comments in relation to the mother as well. And I just want to encourage persons to be kind. It can't be easy to lose a child. And so I just want to encourage persons to be kind. I want persons to, pray for the family, because this is not a easy time for them. And so I conclude this evening's program of Unfiltered. I want to say thank you to those persons who continue to listen, who continue to share the live, and those persons who call in, whether we agree or disagree, to those persons who comment on the Facebook page, whether we agree or disagree. At the end of the day, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and only the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, has the power to make that decision. And when that decision day comes, it is my hope the people of St. Kitts and Nevis puts its trust in the People's Action Movement government and sends home this lazy Labour Party, this lazy Labour administration, once and for all. Make it a one-term government.
Dilemma, now that the country been run by labor. This pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this Labour Party in power, is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society. This administration turned it out to be. The PM got a so-called advisor, telling people how to get away with murder. It's non-stop attack on the treasury with the daddy and man sorry. This Labour bunch shot to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economy start hard, life crippling. We a collective menace, menace to society. It's like it's all cheap and no Indian. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan, ideas or structure. It's the people who left to suffer. No pop, no peace, clear unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake. Under these enemies of the state. They ain't cheap, yeah, they get lawyer. He really a pamper playing Labour turn politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4, law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. BAD join the cult and the greed. just a menace, 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 menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace, 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 menace to society. Life in SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country growing up is smoke. One Mr. Smiley and 10 money one. Busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we. With this menace, menace, menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace, 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 menace to society. On SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up in smoke. One Mr. Smiley and 10 money one. Busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we. With this menace, menace, menace to society. Society, them are enemies of the state. Lord of mercy, under the weight of the lies, they need their hand on show. They got to go, oh, oh, oh. They got to go, oh, oh, oh. These menace to society, them are enemies of the state. Lord of mercy, under the weight of the lies, they need their hand on show. They got to go. Society, them are enemies of the state. Lord of mercy, under the weight of the lies, they need their hand on show. They got to